It seems to me in this technology advancing society we have, ever advancing society, the cost of this amazing technology changing the world every single day, advances in all fields, and I think the cost of it is common sense. I mean, people walk in the streets with their heads buried in cell phones, in their iPhones, or now the iWatch, whatever else. Not looking and not aware of their surroundings, just completely oblivious. Or in the middle of a conversation, they'll start you're speaking with someone face to face, and they'll start texting, or they're interrupted by this technology. It's a distraction, ladies and gentlemen. That's my point. All of these things are a distraction. Any sane and rational person who takes the time to research the history of the many atrocities conducted by the federal government, for example, on unsuspecting Americans, like releasing biological weapons in the subways in New York in 1966 and bombing a minority St. Louis housing project with biological weapons, or the Ruby Ridge slaughter of the Weaver family, the mother and the son. And if you say, and the way they spin it in the media, he was a Ku Klux Klan radical and all these other things. The fact of the matter is that with Ruby Ridge, the U.S. government was liable to the tune of like $2.7 million in the murder of Weaver's wife and son. So then we had Waco, where, again, the media spins up this whole hype, and they put History Channel movies. I mean, this is like generational programming. They want you to get a story in your brain, and it's going to be very strong. It would have to be very strong influence to get you to change your mind, because you saw it on the History Channel. This is the History Channel that says, Jesus was an alien, and the aliens, everything's aliens. They should just call it the Alien Channel, because it's not the History Channel. It's the programming your mind to think a certain way channel. And they put it just constant. Put these images. So if you don't think there's a correlation between all of this, then I suppose you don't think that there's a problem with these Jade Helm 15 martial law exercises that are slated for July. And the fact that United Nations military vehicles are crossing across Texas and these other states where Jade Helm exercises are to be conducted. And that's why. That's no problem. They would never do anything like this. It doesn't surprise you that the greatest forces, the most elite forces in our government are going to be the ones conducting this exercise, infiltrating into communities, in the neighborhoods and states. Rangers, SEALs, Green Beret, the cream of the crop. Do they need that much training? Haven't they been trained to do all this stuff already in the Middle East? Infiltrating into neighborhoods. What does that mean? I mean, talk about Big Brother. Infiltrating you think they're going to go away? You think that information is going to go away? What are they going to do? It's just an exercise. How they're going to work in partnership with people in the community to weed out certain people in the community. And most of these states, by the way, are states that you would consider where there's people are very strong on their gun rights, on their religious freedoms, and other things that go against the New World Order. And if you don't understand this yet, it is to your detriment. I said it myself. Call me a tinfoil hat if you'd like, but I've made like 1,000 videos on this subject matter, only this subject matter. I don't make videos about anything else. And I tell you that it's true. And I challenge you to find your own truth. Go out there. Listen to what I've just told you. Research this information. It's true. that the federal government destroyed. They destroy lives. MK Ultra. They loosed LSD on the American society. AIDS, Ebola, you name it. CIA drug smuggling, money laundering, assassinations, overthrowing governments. The CIA made a career out of it, putting in puppets, building this cartel, building the New World Order, the unfinished pyramid. The unfinished pyramid, ladies and gentlemen. The great work, the New World Order. It is not new and it is not order. And it will destroy the liberty and freedom of every soul on earth if we let it. That's why we have to be aware of it, so we can fight the enemy and call them out on it when they lie. I mean, Obama. But they're all liars, the same. Obama, Clinton, Bush, all of them. Nixon, Carter. But these are our leaders. These are the people we look to control our destiny. And isn't that sad? Yet, if you were to just even have somebody watch your children, you'd put them through a background check. You'd make sure that they weren't pedophiles or something. You know, if it was Bill Clinton's friend, I would definitely be, Jeffrey Epstein especially, I would definitely be worried about letting him babysit. But that's my point. You take the proper precautions in your own personal lives, but you leave the rest to others. In general, I'm just generalizing on society. And if we could learn to keep house with our government as much as we keep to live, I think that we'd be better off. But that means we all have to somehow rise up in one voice and say, no. No, you are not going to tax me more. No, you are not going to take my property. No, you are not going to mandate me. No, you are not going to destroy the Constitution. No, you are not going to take my gun. And I think we're getting close to that point. So this is what's going on here. You know, we have an administration that is anti-gun rights, that wants to force you to buy health insurance, all of these other things, all of these totalitarian measures. And if you resist, oh, you're the threat. We are the threat. Patriots. It's the craziest thing. And it's not just Obama. We were under Bush. Same thing. Because they're just puppets. They're puppets. It's the agenda that they're moving forward. The Brotherhood of Death, Skull and Bones. The secret societies behind all of these efforts to bring about the New World Order. They talk about it. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's true, and it's happening. That's what I said. People are so distracted they can't even think about their own common sense. They have no common sense. It's just unbelievable. Now they're calling hostile states, too. Some of the states are hostile that they're doing this. There are hostile states and not hostile states. And what makes them hostile is if they basically have guns and they're that whole gun rights thing. And, it's unprecedented that they would do something such as to this force. And why would they have to do it with infiltrating? Can't they do this in... Isn't that what they're supposed to do? Can't they do this on their military base? No, it has to be in a real world situation. Well, these people are trained to disarm and pillage. Okay? And who the hell knows who these people are? What their political views are? They've infiltrated our military if they're going to be doing anything like this. Have they not? And what about this whole Muslim Brotherhood in our government? We have the Muslim Brotherhood in the highest levels of government, the Department of Homeland Security. This is not a conspiracy theory. Things are really, really precarious. For those of us that are aware and awake and know what's going on and what's been happening up to now, you have to be sort of shaken a little with this one. This is a very, very tricky situation because we have a government that's pro Islam, completely pro-Islam. Um, and Sharia law, they want Sharia law. We have people that are being beheaded here, and they don't even talk about it. They call it workplace violence, the Oklahoma beheading. I only pray that if an order ever comes to disarm the American people, that they would not obey, but they probably would get the ones that would. That goes back to that goes back to the 29 Palms, the questionnaire. Marines, would you fire upon the American people if ordered to, or disarm them? And people that mark yes, they go to head the class. I mean, these are really dangerous times. This is not a joke. And I don't know why they have to do this. Why is the Obama administration and the Department of Homeland Security buy billions of rounds of ammunition, 3,000 tanks, urban tanks? Why do they have this huge NSA this domestic spying program? Why? Why are they moving helicopters, Apache helicopters, from the National Guard, taking them back to the Army, to the Defense Department? Why are they confiscating 192 Apache helicopters? Why? They're going to be replacing them with 111 UH-60 Black Hawk transport helicopters, not the kind that the National Guard has now with, I don't know. I mean, I tell you, he's a totalitarian socialist, this guy. He does it with a smile. Everybody submits to his will because they think he's so cool. He's a rock star. I mean, America basically elected a rock star. Despite all the torture and torment he put on the people, he convinced them that it's all going to be good and we're moving in the right direction. And here we are now, and they get him reelected. People are still under the cloud. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. It's because it's an agenda. Because they are just unbeknownst to themselves, they're working towards their own enslavement. It's disgraceful. There are some governors who would not, of course, stand for martial law, and that went on the record, and that so that they're not going to allow it. And there are organizations like in Texas, the Texas State Guard is a state-based military force, and they can't be pressed into service by the federal government, and they'll protect the state. And in fact, there's some, believe it or not, there's arguments between the demo rats and the Republic scum blasting Governor Abbott because he understands that they have to protect the people in the event that the federal government gets out of control, and they have to protect the Second Amendment rights of the American citizens. Look, I live in Connecticut. They don't even have a sheriff in Connecticut. They did away with the sheriff a long time ago. So there is no other higher law than in the state than the sheriff for the people. And it's just a very, very disgraceful thing. This whole admiralty system that we're forced to live under. I mean, we should just end this admiralty system and then we'd be okay. But no. That's how the people at the top make the money, and they make it off of our sweat, blood, and tears, ladies and gentlemen. Make you no mistake about it. So they buy billions of rounds of ammunition, tanks. I think it's more than 4,700 tanks. Oh my God, there's just so much stuff they're doing. They had operations going back to 2013 with large movements of military hardware and across in different zones in FEMA Region 3, for example. So they're planning something. They know something's happening, or preparing for whatever it is. Again, 9/11 is a perfect example of the beginning of this, the launching pad of the New World Order, what you call the catalyst, or the inciting incident that started this whole era of evil. And it's just been one lie after another, after another, after another. It doesn't matter who the president is, the agenda will move forward. They will say one thing and the opposite occurs. This is how you have to think about it. Pretty much, just want a nutshell way to describe this. Think about everything everyone's ever said. Like all the lies that NAFTA and GATT. Oh, this is a good thing for America. It was horrible. Everything that they say that is going to be good for the American people turns out to be bad for the American people. It's not rocket science. You just have to identify this. Put this into your own perspective. Like I said, take a few minutes. Get away from the... If you're going to be using your iPhone, why don't you research this stuff? Take a few minutes to look at really what's going on here. Take a few minutes to see, and you will discover that everything that they are planning has been described, written, all along in advance. All there for you to find. It's all true. Because it's happened. It's occurred and is occurring. Things that have yet to have occurred have been, up to this point, completely scripted. So what makes you believe that the script is going to be any different as we move forward? This is what they're doing. The goal of these collectivists is to create a two-class society, a neo-feudal society, where everyone is sort of happy with their servitude. They like it.
We are in process of developing a whole series of techniques which will enable the controlling oligarchy to get people actually to love their servitude. First of all, to standardize the population, to iron out inconvenient human differences, to create, so to say, mass-produced models of human beings arranged in some kind of a scientific caste system. A number of the predictions which were purely fantastic when I made them 30 years ago have come true or seem in process of coming true. That a number of techniques about which I talked seem to be here already, and that there seems to be a general movement in the direction of this kind of ultimate revolution, this method of control by which people can be made to enjoy a state of affairs which, by any decent standard, they ought not to enjoy.
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Thanks for watching Truth Talk News. Check out howardnema.com and Truth Talk News on YouTube.
We'll tell you any shit you want to hear. We do it in illusions, man. None of it is true. But you people sit there day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds. We're all you know. You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. You do whatever the tube tells you. You dress like the tube. You eat like the tube. You raise your children like the tube. You even think like the tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion.